I'm Patrick Gavin, Politico. It is now time to turn the table with CNN's Candy Crowley. Candy, let's get your take on the budget deal that we saw this week. God forbid that we see some bipartisanship in this town, but was that, in fact, a sign that perhaps the ice is thawing when it comes to Republicans and Democrats and getting some fiscal policy done?
That's the optimistic point of view, I think. If you were a skeptic, say, you would see a confluence of events. You have an election year coming up. Republicans were pounded pretty heavily, and it showed up in the polls the last time there was a budget showdown, the last time there was a government shutdown, and you have the president endorsing this particular, the Murray-Ryan bill. So you have Democrats kind of being told, hold your nose and do it, and you have Republicans thinking, let's get past election year and not bring up the stuff that folks don't like about it. And you got to compromise. I suspect there will be more Democrats than Republicans who vote for it in the Republican House. But I suspect, as most people do, that it will get passed in both chambers.
You know, Paul Ryan's gotten a little bit of heat from conservatives for this bill. He's sort of been known as, in the past, as the conservatives' real policy wonk. Has that image kind of been damaged a little bit by this latest budget deal and the kind of brushback that he is getting from a lot of conservatives who thought he was their true champion?
Maybe. I mean, let's watch it play out a little bit. Generally, we were told, as I think Politico was as well, that Ryan's presentation to his caucus went very well. I think that because he is smart about these things, because he is known as a straight shooter and is sincere, that they have not gone after him. They've gone after the budget, but it hasn't been sort of Ryan's fault. Now, some of them have gone after Paul Ryan, but I think, you know, his credentials as a fiscal conservative are probably intact. I mean, it may play out at some point if he wants to run for president. I'm sure that's where somebody to his right would go after him, but I don't know that right now I think there's much political damage.
Moving over to the Democratic side, we're seeing that President Obama is going to end this year with his highest disapproval ratings that he's had so far. What does he need to do in 2014, do you think, to sort of right that ship? Are there some specific things that we all know and that he knows that need to get addressed for him to sort of get his approval ratings higher?
Sure, the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, needs to work.
Yeah.
They need to have more good stories than bad about it and have the numbers to back it up. Because in the end, I think that what's happened is the structure has fallen out from beneath the president's approval ratings. That structure always was based on trust that he was telling the truth, a trust that he could handle the job. And so even when things happened that people didn't approve of, those two things held him up. If you look at the polling now, those two things have fallen, and that's what is, so you see this collapse over, especially since September. So I think in order to build that back, he's got to show success in the one thing that he has staked much of his presidency on, and that's the health care reform.
All right, Candy, tell us about your program this Sunday.
Well, we're going to be talking about any number of things as we look at it, but in particular what some experts think about what this budget deal is going to do to the economy. We've seen some signs that it might be alert and awake, and perhaps we're on the road to recovery, so we want to look at the budget deal and see what it does to that.
All right, Candy Crowley, host of CNN State of the Union, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, Patrick.